Okay, we're almost set up here. Okay, I'm back. Welcome to the stream. This is Reliable Rudy. Before we go into any analysis, I'm not a licensed financial advisor. Everything in this video contains only my opinion and is for entertainment purposes only. Keep in mind that I am going to make mistakes, but I live my life in bets. Every single trade that I make is a bet, and I want my bets to be in my favor if I'm going to take them. That is the mindset that I'm trading behind. So, not every play is going to be perfect, but we have had a pretty good start to the year, and let's get into some analysis. So, let's clear the chart. Here's your Nasdaq futures. A little bit of consolidation period right here, but bottom of the move, top of the move. This is the price that I want to see hold. And what do we wick right down to? You know, we're actually holding above yesterday's close, our bottom price. So we're going to go to a 15-minute chart and see what this looks like. So starting the curl, but still looks bearish. Here's your cross negative, pretty much right at the open almost. There's your cross negative. Doesn't even give you the opportunity to hop short and off the moving average. Just straight down. Now let's see if this continue the curl. Let's see it test this previous high. Probably trade sideways for a little bit and then see if it can actually go positive. That's what we're looking for on the Nasdaq. So a little bit bearish on the day, but when you're looking at it from on a day interval, we are positive. We can expect volume to be coming into the Nasdaq and the indexes in general. And a good buying pressure on the bottom end of this wick. A lot of green volume came in. Do you think that it's possible that we have some profit taking coming into Nasdaq related stocks? Yes, it's very possible, but that does not, but when you're positive like this, there is going to be deals out there. That is my opinion. So we did a little bit of buying, we did a little bit of adjusting to the portfolio today, but before we go into any individual stocks, let's take a look at US oil. Oil looking very similar. You have this previous high that we're actually below right now. It actually gave up 80 flat. It's been trying to hold 80 flat, but here is that same story. We just went positive, we're already positive, and you're flirting with the highs of this previous wick. Did put a direct wick into the downtrend, so if we go redraw this channel right here, direct contact in with this downtrend, and I'm sure you can keep this channel up kind of like this per se, but at the end of the day, how is this uptrend going to hold? This is what we want to keep our eye on. So we think that it's in a wedge pattern right here. Could see some consolidation, maybe some pullbacks into these mid 70s, but let's see if it can actually push this downtrend sometime this week or next week. And I think that the oil plays are really setting up comparing it to the indexes. ALSN, one that I have on watch, it's just barcoding sideways right here. Has a nice run, barcoding sideways. If it can take out this 43.50, call it, gonna get paid. And this is why we've been keeping an eye on it, is because it showed good strength, increasing buying pressure right here on these two good looking candles, but couldn't set a close. It sets a close above it right here, but the following candle doesn't close above it. Let's see if it can set a close back on top of this and hold above this moving average that's sitting at 43.19. So I would say that you're looking for this to hold 43.20. Breakout price where we were looking to enter into this, call it 43.30. Doesn't look half bad. I could see it just kind of trade sideways until we get to this uptrend. It has a decent uptrend right here, but you can see this is your barcoding sideways over the last 3 days. We did have a breakout entry at the close on, this was Tuesday of last week. Tuesday of last week. So we've been nursing this position for a little bit of time now, and now we're really looking for this to eventually break out. Let's go over to the day chart, and you guys can see why I like it. You're like, oh, you're buying it near all-time highs. Yeah, we got a nice upward channel right here that's respected. Potential moves for this still has 44% to the upside, and that you can have plenty of outs on the way up, but pretty decent looking channel right there. But then look at the downtrend. We finally push the downtrend, we rest on top of the downtrend. Look at all this action of trading sideways. Here's your breakout price for like when you actually really want to get paid. Is call it 46.50 break right here. These wicks right here. But let's start with what's at hand right now is this high. 43.70 is the current break right now where you can actually be convinced that you're going to start getting paid. You have a 44.82 gap fill and you let it go from there. But on a 15-minute chart, still rejecting getting back on top of that moving average, so we'll come back later. Amazon held this support, had a little bit of a breakout to the downside on that, but we expected this support to be able to hold pretty well. It fights, it finally breaks through, and it rests on top 3 times now. Why do we like Amazon? Go to the daily. Here's your break positive on this candle. Gaps up, full green engulfing right there. Could have had orders in off the gap, and we did on this day, but we marketed in, and now we're just kind of nursing this position. We want to see this potentially try the hold right here. Breakout price, call it 97. If it can get 98.50. If it can get back up to that range, it's going to look very good with a green engulfing candle looking up to that. BKT. Gonna need volume in the crypto space. Let's see if this can start building a U shape. This is a play for another day. Let's Google was same story. This is just barcoding sideways. This has been so close to going positive. Your breakout price 93. If it retests 93 and gets a green engulfing candle, maybe not this candle. This looks like if it's at a close like this, you're looking for a potential gap down on the next candle. See how the volume looks as it comes down and fills this gap at 89.25. But you do have, here's your run. Here's your gap fill that needs to be filled. Retraces all the ways back down to the gap. And now it's starting to curl back up. Could we see it just trade sideways for a little bit longer, fill this gap, and then start turning up? And then we're talking about a breakout price above this where it looks like a left leg neckline, double bottom, and extended right leg. I think it's very possible at Google. Will it wait for that? Maybe this turns bullish right away. Who knows? Let's just go to the ones that are moving. So the volume, this was trade of the day. Took this on the live stream earlier today. We had breakout price 14.20 right there. There's your high from earlier in the week, or maybe that was last week. We just went positive, and we broke the downtrend. Easily going to be the trade of the day. Took this open break 14.17, have the print for it, have multiple entries through this, and was putting orders in off 14.25, got filled, put another order in off 14.26, didn't get filled, and yeah, now we're just nursing this position. This looks very good. You want to talk about doing what needs to be done. Here is your move. Your move, builds a U shape. Now we're talking breakout price above 1536. If it can get above 1536, potential outs up here at the gap, respect the previous low maybe, and then you have this next low and gap fill with the next high. So all of these potential outs right here. First out 5.5%, 23%, 36, 38, 72, 80. I mean, a lot of potential in right here. This is a large move to the downside for a new company, but let's not forget this company has been cash flow positive, 60% margins, 28% profit margins, very good growth, and expected to be flat but still profitable for a new company. Minimal dilution, pretty typical for a new company to be diluting a little bit. I think this one is going to be a banger play right here. So we do have a little bit of size, not as much as we'd like, but very good look on the day. I'm looking for dip buys into this previous high, see if it can retest that 1425. And we are going to have orders in off of this, and this actually looks pretty good. People are looking to buy this. Look at that, dips down to 1440 for a brief second, instantly gets bought up. Great volume coming into this. I think Goldman Sachs even just gave them a buy rating yesterday. Go figure. Go figure they gave them a buy rating yesterday when the chart looks like this. You know what I mean? Like this. Some plays you just got the conviction with. This one I feel pretty good about. Verdana, another mover. Goes on a run, builds a U shape. A little bit of a bearish candle right there with this big gap up. But you can see doesn't even have the strength to come down to this gap and trying to build a U shape. OC, Owens Corning. We stated that, early on in the day that it was holding above this. It has good strength. Didn't even have the weakness to come down and fill the gap. And it look at that, guys. On that initial move to the upside, fills the gap. Now let's see if it can hold above this downtrend. Been trading in this channel for a long time. If it wants to just build this large U shape right here, it has to break this downtrend to be able to do that. So not a terrible look from Owens. Surprisingly enough, this actually held support right here. If this can start curling back up positive, how many have I showed you guys where it goes on a run, builds a U shape, goes on a run, builds a U shape. You can already see early signs. Looking at breakout price on this at 450. Go figure, it's right at that whole quarter mark. Let's look at the 15-minute for this one. Hold support very good. Might even have an inverse head and shoulders look right here. I say that because I'm looking at this. Here's your first shoulder. There's the high that it pushes to. You get to that same exact point, and now you set in higher low, higher low. I know the chart looks funky because this is a low cap or a small cap, but definitely some potential right here and one to keep on watch. I do not have a position in this. I could have flirted with this during this run, but now we have the run, consolidation period. Now let's see if it can build a U shape. Con, just continuing the run over that breakout price, over the weekly high. QDEL, it is starting to tell you, hey, going to respect the channel. And we did put wicks over 86. We said yesterday that let's see how it acts with 86. Couldn't even make it to it. Now we're current price 85.50, and we put wicks to as high as almost 87. So this is a potential. Watch the closing price for this. Look for a gap down for either direction. Could gap down below this channel. Could gap down above the moving average that's sitting at that 86 range. So keep 86 on watch. CC goes on a run, builds a U shape. Beautiful. Goes on a run, builds a U shape. But this one has respected this channel pretty well. Does have some an uptrend catalyst right here potentially. Has a nice channel going upward, and it has just been, it actually wanted to break out today. Wanted to break out today. You can see it tried to. It put a wick up over top of our breakout price. You're still negative. If it's able to do that again, I would say you got the A-OK. Let's see. Here's where it tries. A lot of weakness in the market during this time. Now it's starting to curl up. If it can come down to this trend line again, tap it, and then break over top of this wick, you got the A-OK, I would say, for a potential breakout of this wedge and for it to finally start churning to the upside. Boom. Potential runs, here's your previous low. 60 flat. Go figure. It's a 60 flat. Potential run 13% for your first out. You know, have outs on the way if you want to, but I'd say it looks pretty good for that. Smith & Wesson. Looking pretty good for continuation. We're right at that 1050. Good strength. Just went positive. You know, normally you'd like to see it go on a run, build a U shape. Here's your entry over here at a lower price at a later date. So look for that. But I mean, if you got the position down here built, I mean, this was respecting this channel very well. And very good ends if you were able to say, hey, it's respected this channel for about a year and a half. Let's give it a go. So I would expect continuation, but start of your gap fill, 1075, respect those quarters, and if it can start filling the gap, you got the downtrend, top end of the channel, and you got the gap fill. But how many have I showed you guys where goes on a run, builds a U shape, goes on a run, builds a U shape? So I could definitely see some pullbacks if I were to go bottom of the move, top of the move. Pullback area right around that 10 flat. Here's another quarter. Here's another quarter. Here's almost another quarter. See how just the fib tool is already telling you that hey, this could be a potential top right here. Let's wait for it to potentially build this U shape. But that's what I'm looking for on Smith & Wesson. T-net still just nursing the position. I'm not going to give up on it yet. We've already had plenty of profit takes. 15-minute chart looking a little bit bearish. That's not a very well drawn channel, but go back to the daily, mark our entry. Here's your positive break of this candle, opens above it, tries to fill the gap. You break through, here's where it backtests the top of your entry. Beautiful outs along the way. Can it show strength to get up to this 76.50 gap? This is the out that we're looking for a potential cut. But if it wants to stay bullish, I mean, you could look at that as, hey, if it takes out this wick top, looking for a continuation, let's see if it can make a run up to this next gap fill. Doesn't look half bad. We'll keep holding a piece of that. Marathon. Clear the drawings on this. We said we were going to dip into this if it came back down to this support. Never made a buy on it. I like the position that I'm sitting in. Decent run right here. Could start building the U shape. You got a gap fill down here. And, you know, this entry on oil is potentially looking like it's going to be another day, but did try to break out. So still negative right here, so early ends on the position. If this can continue turning positive, we'll have no problem buying this at a higher price. Let's look at the 15-minute. Oil looks pretty much the same. You have the gap up. Oil was bullish when it was looking to break that 82. Oil came down, retested that 80. This looks the same as the oil chart. Let's see if it can try to hold this support. There is probably an uptrend built in there somewhere, but this uptrend broke. Basically, it's about holding this support now. So we are just going to keep nursing that position. We will gladly buy this at a later date. Macy's goes on a run, builds a U shape. It's classic. Wicking into the previous high though, so a little bit bearish though. But you are positive. You can probably hold, maybe hope for a breakout price of this 24 flat. Go figure. KXN goes on a run, builds a U shape. Bearish on this. Where's your entry on the short? Here's where you go negative. We can even run this replay back for you guys. Let's see a few candles. very elevated. Hopefully your entry was in over here when you go positive. You're just trading sideways. Let's see what direction this is going to go. If it can take out this price at 180, you're going to continue to get paid. Okay, had rejection, never actually set to close above that false breakout, and boom, getting ready to go negative, and we are negative. Here's your consolidation of the previous low where the shorts are trying to get in. Shorts build a position, a little bit of a false breakout, flatten out of the position. The short did not work. We go see more candles. Okay, now we're starting to turn back negative. Boom, negative right on this candle. Let's try the short again. We can even add to this. You see how it's building this bent fishing rod right there? You can add to that all day. And boom, getting paid. Yeah, see what I'm saying? So now we're just trading sideways, and look at that. The short's still just getting paid. Acting like it wants to go back positive. And that's where we're at. So I would expect some sideways action. I would say the shorts are still in this. The ones that took profit probably have already taken profit, and they're trying to hold for a breakdown of this low. However you pronounce that energy. Airlines Company, DAL, respected the downtrend. Trip, same scenario, respected the downtrend. Getting elevated, look for consolidation pullback. Goes on a run, build the U shape. How many have I showed you? This is early signs of it right here. Goes on a run, builds a U shape. Goes on a run, builds a U shape. Veil. Looks pretty damn good, I would say. A nice U shape being formed. You know, confirmation that we could be breaking out of this downtrend, but let's readjust that downtrend. I don't think it's broken out of it yet. So we've already had our cuts on Veil that we like, and we're going to try and hold for a breakout of this downtrend potentially. OLN goes on a run, builds a U shape. Look at that. How many have I showed you where, you know, goes on a run, builds a U shape. DBX goes on a run, builds a U shape. Respecting the downtrend right now. Holding inside of this channel, wanted to break back on top of this 120 a couple times today. Let's look at the 15. Here's your first run, still holding above your EMA on a 15-minute chart. EAF looking like it's probably going to turn into a short. Here's your gap up from this morning. Boom, gaps up. You're still holding above that gap. You could expect buyers to come in off that gap fill. Has an uptrend that can still hold. Excel is flirting with this 15. This is one we called out to be on watch earlier this morning. You know, we're still watching it. Here's your breakout over top of this price, and now it's trying to hold. Excel does not have a half bad look. We go over to the daily, goes on a run, builds a U shape. How many times have I showed you guys this? We are still slightly negative, and we are positive on our 25. We got to see this U shape continue a little bit more to take the trade, but closing above 1637, I would say, isn't a half bad thing. That's what you would want. That's what you would want to see it do. Looks like a very decent upward channel right here. Respecting it. Let's see if it can maybe have some consolidation. I see a gap fill that can be filled right here. If it can fill this gap with this uptrend and then break over top of these wick highs, you're going to get paid. ALSN, this is why you wait for the close. This, we're probably just waiting on the close. We already have a few entries on this, just barcoding sideways. We want it to close above 43. We go back to a 15-minute chart. Here's where we kind of had that false breakout. On the next candle, it does not close above it. We can't even fight to get back over top of it. As I stated, let's see if this can just barcode sideways for a little bit longer. We got this uptrend that can start working for us. If this wants to start building a U shape, breakout price 43.50. If we got a 43.50 on this daily chart right here, this is going to look like full green engulfing, like this bull flag is going to pan out. But until we have more confirmation, we like the position that we're sitting in. We're just going to hold. Jazz goes on a run, builds a U shape. Already calling it right here. Goes on a run, respects the downtrend, goes on a U shape. You know, if this wants to get bullish, breakout price, which you're flirting with the downtrend, so you're playing with fire there. 100% would be playing with fire. Matt X, you know, still could potentially be building this nice U shape. Getting rejection at the top end of this. Maybe this needs to come down another day, but it's holding above where our downtrend is set. If you look at the 15-minute chart, wanted to break out. This is where we had drawn for a breakout price. Just rejects it. Just rejects, could not hold above that 65 flat, and here we are, right back down to the downtrend. Let's see if this can start building a U shape right here on the 15-minute chart. That's what we're looking for. Same thing, oils. Oil just all looks the same. Cardinal Health, we said this looked like a short. We said that it was a flat bottom. Here's your flat bottom from the week before. Here's your flat bottom from this week. Still has a downtrend that's struggling to break. If this can break down, give up this 75 flat, the shorts are going to be getting paid. How many of them I showed you? Goes on a run, builds a U shape. I mean, this looks like a short all day. You're broken off of the downtrend, or the uptrend is broken, and you're looking for this flat bottom breakdown. Amazon, same story. Goes on a run. Is it going to build a U shape? I do not know, but has some barcoding action right here. Still holding above 96. I think Amazon looks pretty decent. This is actually setting up like it's going to want to try and break this. Pretty good look on a 15-minute chart here. TDC. Goes on a run, builds a U shape. We're looking for breakout price on this, probably above day's high, 33.75. This looked pretty good at one point today for a potential breakout. And now on a 15-minute chart, it looks like this. You're closing above the EMA. About to go positive, positive. If you were looking for something that, okay, I want to see something that's going to go up throughout the day, throughout the rest of this day. I cannot promise anything after that. There's so many variables. But this looks pretty good. If it can break over top of this wick price right here, which call it it's already over that 33.25, and here we are. We're starting to get it right now. Let's take this live trade with you guys right here. So right here, all I'm going to do is just start a market position. Keep in mind, on a daily chart, this does not pass the rules. Does not pass the rules. But you do have a nice uptrend. And on a 15-minute chart, doesn't look half bad. If it can start building this U shape, we're talking about potential breakout price up here at 34.5. So entries down here is your early entries, 4% early for your breakout price. But let's go ahead and take this trade right here. TDC. Let's make sure we're holding this 25. Let's see if we got any size on the bid. Not really much size, not really much volume, not many people looking at this. Let's go ahead and take it. Okay, market it in for an entry order, and let's throw one more order in off of this 33.25. And let's see how it goes. We'll watch this one live for a little bit, and then I'm going to call it on the stream. Open the next candle up at that 29. Let's see if the buyers come in for the middle of this green candle. By all means, I could definitely see this just trading sideways first. This could be the early signs, neckline buy, and then we could see a retest of 33. But let's see if it can hold that without giving up. We'll start at this 33.28. Keep in mind we do not have much size at all on this position. Not much volume, but I do like the look of just going positive. So we're just going to dip our toes into it. We'll come back to it. It looks like a slow mover. MRVI, trade of the day, hands down. I think we got a beautiful entry on this one. This one looks very good. Tesla, is it going to close with a full red engulfing candle? It's tough to say. Hey Ripley, hey puppy. It's okay, puppy. Oh, it's okay. Come here. Come here. Come here. Ripley, come here. Come. Good boy. Good boy. Where is ALSN? Still flirting with this price. Could be starting to potentially build this U shape right here. Potential inverse head and shoulders in effect. If it takes out this 43.30, I think it looks pretty good. Bobski catching a bib. See, this is what you want your stocks that are falling to look like right here. Nice channel. Holds the channel, respects the channel. Now getting ready, building this U shape on the commodity. Looking for this to jump back positive, breakout price for early entry. Break out of this wick, but you will still probably be negative, so keep that in mind. This is what you don't want to see when you tune back into it. Breaks it down, trend back test the top of it. It could potentially retest that 100, probably have a sell order off that 100 flat. Lumen, not terrible, coming down to this support range right here. Over your moving average on a 15. Tried to buy the knife a little bit. Didn't work out for me, but I still think that this is in effect as long as it can close above 525, which I think with that 15-minute chart setup that it had doesn't look half bad. We are going to dip back negative, so by no means is this just a screaming buy, but how many have I showed you guys where it goes on a run, builds a U shape? Google, I think that we can respect this range, and look at Google. Whew, man, if I hadn't bought the bottom channel on Google already today, then I'd be looking to buy it right now, because you get the green volume that comes in. Here's your consolidation. This looks like the Nasdaq almost, except for this is a 15-minute chart. Almost identical. Breakout price for Google, I'd say you're already positive on both. Here's your consolidation at the middle of this candle. You know, as long as this candle, which has 7 minutes and 50 seconds left, closes above 92.10, I'd say Google looks pretty good. So let's go check out the TQ. TQ, not as strong as what Google looks like. You see that? You see the difference right there? TQ does not look as strong. This is already letting me know that, you know, we do have some good consolidation dip buy right here. Let's look at the retracement. Same exact area. No strength. Google, if I did this with Google, this is going to show strength. Now, if I just did it from right here, the top of this green candle right here, okay, exactly where you'd want to see dip buying come in. So TQ not looking terrible. It is trying to eke back negative, but we are still positive right here. So I'm expecting buyers to look for deals. SoFi actually turned back green. Look at that. Look at that, guys. What did we call out on stream last night? Probably look for it to retest the previous day's high. What do we do? Boom. Still got the demand for it. If we go to a 15-minute chart, yeah, look at this, guys. There's your breakout. Previous wick. Boom. Continuation. Looking for a new high on SoFi. We have a 584 gap, so we're looking for more out of 5. What are you doing? What are you doing, puppy? Why are you making funny noises? Thor, look at all this you're saving out. But what we call on stream last night? Goes on a run, builds a U shape. You dogs gotta go outside? Alright, let's go outside. Yeah, you gotta go outside. No. Alright, go outside. Go potty. Headset's still going. Tilray. Looking for dip buys back at this 3 flat. Consolidation to this 3 flat. Got a decent uptrend. You know, bull flag. Looked like it was going to pan out early. and it failed. Let's see what it looks like on a 15-minute chart. Could potentially start building this U shape if we draw out the bottom end of the support and just bring it all the ways over. Look at that. You wick to it on that day. You gap up to it. Now this is what's trying to hold. Look for this to hold that support. RVI, just so tempting to just go and just buy more. But we're looking for consolidations back to that 1425. Amazon doesn't quite have that look like Google, but is catching a bid right here. Just broke over top of that wick. I'd say Amazon looks pretty good. Sleep Number was showing strength early in the day, now kind of giving up that strength. Still has a nice bull flagging effect right here. Probably some sort of uptrend through that. Building this wedge pattern. How many have I showed you guys though? Goes on a run, builds a U shape. How many of them? We're at the current price where we want to see this hold. There's your rejection. Look for it to just trade sideways. Wait for it to get that nice look. False breakout right there. Couldn't close the next candle above the EMA. That's your indicator. Fails to get over it twice. TDC. Looking for a price over top of this. You know, we just went positive, positive. Gaps up intraday. Keep an eye on that. Let's go back to that Google. That Google is looking pretty good. Still holding. Positive, positive. Nice green volume, looking for the next three candles. Let's see if it can break over this 92.40. Lumen, we just want to see this trade sideways. I see we do have a viewer. Do you have any tickers you want me to look at? I just got done going over pretty much the whole watch list. I don't even know what to look at right now. I'm pretty content where we're sitting right now. I think the TQ is in a little bit of a consolidation zone. And yeah, we're not really watching anything else other than MRVI. Had some real good entries. Go over, look at the daily, because this is all that really matters. Break over last week's high. Just went positive, positive. Had 415, had 418, had 422, had 425, had tried to get 1425 again. We're looking for 1420s to 1425s tomorrow. And he's gone. Goes on a run, builds a U shape. Left the dogs outside. Ain't that something? Come on, let's go inside. Yeah, good dogs. Oh, yeah, good puppies. Marathon trying to catch a bid, looking for this to consolidate sideways. Here's your gap fill that's still holding above. Keep that in mind. Always gotta pay attention to the gap fills. QDEL does have a little bit of strength on the day. Respecting the bottom end of this channel. Goes on a run, builds a U shape. How many of them have I showed you guys? How many have I showed you guys? Too many. Too many, that's for sure. Alright, I think this is going to conclude TDC. Below that 33.88, this one I'm just going to monitor a little bit. But this is going to conclude the live stream. Thank you for those who tuned in, and we'll see